students, welcome to Grammar Lesson Level Upper Intermediate. My name is Nhung. And today, we are going to continue with passive voice, especially passive voice of reporting verbs. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to know the grammatical structures of passive voice of reporting verbs and some causative verbs. Apply them correctly to exercises. First of all, we will review the previous lesson. Number 1. Someone used a knife to open the window. Number 2. A burglar broke into our house last week. Number 3. Tom has taken away some of my books. Number 4. They will hold the meeting before Tuesday. In sentence number 1, the object is the window, the main verb is open, and the tense is past simple tense. So we have was opened with a knife. And in sentence number 2, the main verb is break into, and the tense is past simple tense. So we have was broken into last week. Break into in past participle form and be in past simple tense. And in sentence number 3, the main verb is take away, and the tense is present perfect. So we have been taken away. Take away in past participle form and be in present perfect tense. And followed by an object, by Tom. Sentence number 4, the main verb is hold, and the tense is future tense. So we have will be held. Hold in past participle form and be in future simple tense. Will be held before Tuesday. Now we come to the main lesson, passive voice of reporting verbs. Let's look at the example. Audience said the film lacked excitement. And we report, audience said that the film lacked excitement. This sentence is in reported speech, and said or say is reporting verb. And we use reporting verbs to report what people say, think, feel, and so on. And there are a lot of reporting verbs aside from say, such as think, feel, see, consider, believe, and so on. However, if you want to avoid mentioning the agent, you can use reporting verbs in passive voice. The agent here is person who does the action. And there are two special patterns of passive voice of reporting verbs. The first pattern is, it was said that the film lacked excitement. The second pattern is, the film was said to lack excitement. However, if you want to add the agent, you can still add the agent after passive verb. So we have, it was said by audiences that. And in the second pattern, the film was said by audiences to lack. Now we come to the first pattern. It is said that. Example, they expected that the damage would be expensive. So the reporting verb is expect. So we change into passive voice. It was expected that the damage would be expensive. So we have the structure. It goes with passive reporting verb and that clause. There are a lot of verbs of this pattern, and here are some verbs that you may usually meet. Accept, announce, anticipate, argue, assume, agree, suggest, believe, claim, conclude, consider, decide, discover, think, estimate, expect, feel, fight, hope, imply, state, propose, intend, know, mention, notice, predict, understand, realize, recommend, report, reveal, say, and show. There are some notes that you need to pay attention. Number 1. Passive reporting verb is be. Go with reporting verb in past participle form. So, be is given the tense of the sentence or follows some other verb. For example, it can hardly be said that the company is prospering. In this sentence, be follows mother verb can. Another example. It was expected that the damage would be extensive. In this sentence, be is in past simple tense, which is was or were. However, it is a singular subject, so we use was. Number 2. Aside from pattern number 1, agree, decide, propose are also used in this pattern. It goes with passive reporting verb and to infinitive. For example, it was agreed to postpone the meeting, which is in the pattern number 1. It can be, it was agreed that they will postpone the meeting. The second pattern is set to infinitive. For example, everybody expected that he won the game, but he didn't. So the reporting verb is expect. And when we change into passive, he was expected to win the game, but he didn't. So we have a structure. Subject goes with passive reporting verb and to infinitive. And there are also a lot of verbs of this pattern. Most of the verbs of pattern number 1 are used in this pattern, except for announce, decide, mention, propose, recommend, suggest, and so on. However, you also need to know that to infinitive can be continuous, perfect, or passive. For example, the army was reported to be crossing the frontier. And in this sentence, to be crossing is continuous. The fighting was reported to have just begun. And to have just begun is perfect to infinitive. The disease is believed to be spread by mosquitoes. And to be spread is passive to infinitive. Also need to know that verb tell can be used in pattern 2 only when it means order. For example, the students were told to keep silent. In this sentence, tell means order or command. So this sentence means the students were ordered to keep silent. However, in this sentence, the accident was told to have happened last night. In this sentence, tell means say something, so we don't use tell in passive voice with this meaning. Instead, we use was said to have. We sometimes encounter subject there. We know that there is or there are, or in general there goes with be means have something. For example, there is no chance of the bill becoming law. So how do we use it in passive voice? Let's look at this example. People think that there is no chance of the bill becoming law. So when we change into passive voice, pattern 1, it is thought that there is no chance of the bill becoming law. And pattern 2, there is thought to be no chance of the bill becoming law. So you need to pay attention to pattern 2 with the structure. There goes with be and reporting verb in past participle form, and to be, and now. And be careful that verb be after there, here, is given plural or singular form depending on the noun. And in today's lesson, we also learned some causative verbs in passive voice, and the first two verbs are have and get. Active voice, you know that have goes with object and infinitive, and get goes with object and to infinitive. And both of them means cause somebody to do something. For example, I had Tran wash the car, or I got Tran to wash the car. However, in passive voice, both have and get have the same structure, which is goes with object and verb in past participle form. And this means cause something to be done. For example, I had the car washed by Tran, or I got the car washed by Tran. However, in this structure, you cannot meet by Tran because we usually use this structure to emphasize the action, and that action is done by someone else. But if you want to mention the agent, you still can add by an object after the passive verb as usual. And note that we don't use have in passive voice when it means possession. For example, my friend had a sports car. It means my friend possessed a sports car. So we don't use it in passive voice like a sports car was had by my friend. So it's totally wrong. Another causative verb is make. In active voice, make goes with object and infinitive. It means force somebody to do something. For example, the robber made the teller give him money. It means the robber forced the teller to give him money. However, in passive voice, be made goes with to infinitive. For example, the teller was made to give the robber money. So you can see that in active voice, make goes with object and infinitive, and in passive voice, made go with to infinitive. So note that in passive voice, we always use to infinitive after passive verb, even if it is followed by infinitive in active voice. Another example, they saw the woman by that ring. And change it to passive voice, the woman was seen to buy that ring. And the last verb today is let. In active voice, let also goes with object and infinitive. It means allow somebody to do something. For example, Sean let his daughter swim with her friends. It means Sean allowed his daughter to swim with her friends. And in passive voice, be allowed to infinitive. For example, Sean's daughter was allowed to swim with her friends. So be careful that let doesn't have a passive form. So we don't use let in passive voice. Instead, we use allow. For example, John's daughter was let to swim with her friends. So it's totally wrong. Okay, now it's time to practice what we have just learned. We'll play a small game called the Magic Wheel. And in this game, we need to answer 9 questions. After answering each question correctly, we can spin the wheel to get a random value. Let's see how many scores can we get at the end of this game. We'll start the game with 0. Okay, come to the first question. The figures will show that the poverty is increasing. In this sentence, Show is the reporting verb and the tenses future simple. So now we change into passive voice. Passive sentence starts with it. So it is pattern 1, right? So we need be and reporting verb in past participle form. Be in future simple. So we have will be and show in past participle form. You can add by an object after passive verb, or you can omit them by the figures. And after that is that clause, that the poverty is increasing. So now it's time to spin the wheel. Can you guess how many scores can we get? Let's see. Plus 1,500. What a good start. Now we come to the second sentence. An agreement was reached about wages. They would be raised by 5%. There are two sentences. The first sentence, an agreement was reached about wages. So, in other words, you can say people agreed about wages. And the second sentence, they would be raised by 5%. So what is date here? It is wages. So we can combine them into one sentence. That is, people agreed that wages would be raised by 5%. So now we change into passive voice. It is pattern 1, right? The 10 is passive simple. We have was agreed. Verb be in past simple tense. So it is was or were. However, it is singular subject, we use was. And agree in past participle form. And after that, in that clause, that wages would be raised by 5%. Okay, spin the wheel again. How many scores can we get? Let's see. Divided by 2. So we have 750 scores. Now come to the third question. Everybody had thought that the chemicals convey important information to the brain. In this sentence, the reporting verb is think, and the tense is past perfect. And the passive sentence starts with the chemicals. It is the subject of the that clause, right? So it is pattern 2. We also need had been taught, be in past perfect, had been, and think in past participle form, thought. And after that is to infinitive, to convey important information to the brain. Okay, spin the wheel again. How many score? Minus 3,000. Oh my god, bad luck. So how many score can we get? Minus 2,250, right? Now come to the fourth question. Number 4. It was reported that there were only 2 experts on the disease in the country. This sentence, reporting verb is report, and the tense is past simple. So we encounter subject there again, right? So after there is were and reporting verb in past participle form, so reported. And after that is to be only 2 experts on the disease in the country. Do you wonder why we use were here? Do you remember be after there will be given the plural or singular form depending on the noun. So now here is experts, 2 experts. So plural noun, so we need were. Okay, so it's time to speed again. We will get 5,000. Let's see. plus 500. Okay, it's okay, good. So we have 1,750. Okay, come to the fifth question. We can see that prices rose sharply in September. In this sentence, the reporting verb is see, and the form is mother goes with infinitive. And it is pattern one, right? So after it is be and reporting verb in past participle form. See in past participle form is seen, and be go with mother. Okay, and after that is that clause, that prices rose sharply in September. Okay, it's time to spin. Let's see how many scores can we get. Plus 500 again, okay, that's good. Go to the sixth question. The bank has withdrawn Mark's credit card. Okay, so the tense is present perfect. And the action here is withdrawn. Now we need to use the passive structure of have, which is have an object, and action verb in past participle form. So Mark in present perfect, so we have has had, and the object is Mark's credit card, so his credit card. And the action verb in past participle form, withdrawn. You can add by an object, by the bank, or you can omit them. Okay, so try one more time. How many score? Plus 4,000. How lucky. So we have how many? 2 in 7. Is it correct? Okay. Question number 7. You should have them repair your car. The original sentence used active structure of have object and infinitive, right? And the form of the verb is mother go with infinitive. So we need to use passive voice of have, which is have and object, and action verb in past participle form. So we have should have, because it is mother go with infinitive, so should have, and object here's your car, and action verb repair in past participle form, so repaired. Okay, it's time to spin. How many score can we get now? Oh my god, again minus 3,000. So we have how many? Minus 250. Okay, we can make it. Come to the eighth sentence. The manager meet the salesman attend the conference. So the original sentence use structure of make, which is make, object, and infinitive. And the tense is past simple. So we change into passive voice of make, which is be made. And the salesman is plural, so your word will meet. By the manager, you can add by an object or you can omit them. And after that is to infinitive. Remember, in passive voice, we use to infinitive after meet to attend the conference. Okay, so spin, spin, spin. Oh my god, minus 2,000. How bad luck. Minus 2,250. Hi, we come to the last question and see, can we get it? The police let the suspect make one phone call. And this original sentence used the active structure of let, object, and infinitive. And the tense is past simple. So now we change into passive voice. The suspect was allowed. To remember that doesn't have a passive voice, so we need to use allowed instead. So be in past simple tense, so it can be was or were, but suspect is singular, so we use was allowed. By the police, you can add by an object or you can omit them. And after allow is to make a phone call, to infinitive. Okay, so this is the last chain for us. Let's see. Plus 4,000, so we make it how many? Okay, so this is the final score. We can make it. Okay, so that's all for today's lesson. And the last lesson for passive voice. And next week, we will come to a new grammar point. What is that? You will know next lesson. See you.